Oh man, Ron, I am so excited today because Doug coming on our show, he was one of the first people that we were trying to get on our show when we decided to launch a podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just remember the first time I actually saw him was in that restaurant, and he had a ton of people that he had helped in there, and they like took out the whole restaurant just for his team.
Yeah, so cool, and I know Doug has been an inspiration to me along as we've gone through this journey, and that's why I was so excited when he was going to come on our show when we first started launching. But to hear the story that we're about to get into, I mean, the guy went from negative $400 in his bank to multiple six figures without his own product.
Yeah, yeah, no, and so I think it goes past the webinar from we talked to Jason and we showed people how they can do this, and he's a perfect example of he did it.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's get to it. Have you ever wondered how highly successful entrepreneurs think?
So did we. So we asked hundreds of entrepreneurs a very simple question. If they had perfect hindsight, what advice would they give themselves?
I am Corey Carter.
And I'm Ron Cool.
Join us on our journey implementing and sharing all of our learnings while we hack our hindsight along with our guest hindsight to give us all better foresight.
Listen along the way as we find and unlock their secrets that made them successful through hidden traffic, joint ventures, and much, much more. This is Hindsight Hacking.
All right. Today on Hindsight Hacking, we are joined by the one and only Doug Boughton. He is on a mission to free entrepreneurs that have been stuck. He is going to be able to tell us his story of being negative in his bank account to making over $400,000, and all through organic traffic. Doug, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Cool. Thanks for having me here today.
Not a problem. We kind of know a lot about your story, how you started and where you came from. But for the people that don't know you, can you give a quick little backstory about who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love marketing. I got involved in this space years and years ago. Wasn't always so happy. I was always failing forward. I felt like, when I was leaving college, it all started back then. I had $114,000 of student loan debt and no degree. And, the loans I did take out were $56,000. And when I was going out to take out my my senior year to stay in college, they told me that I would need another cosigner, a new cosigner. So I wasn't able to do that. And then I found out that those loans had more than doubled through accrued interest. And so not only did my loans double, but I was now degreeless and couldn't go back to school. So I was left with limited options. I found 100% commission door-to-door sales job and did really well with it. Learned a lot about marketing, learned about sales and rejection and the whole process. And it was definitely hard some days, didn't want to go back into that. But even then, I was doing pretty well in that company. I was ranked top 10 out of 800 sales reps, week to week, month to month. And I still couldn't pay my bills. So I was looking for ways to make more money, like working in a restaurant job. I got started in restaurants. I've always had at least 2 or 3 jobs. And one day, my grandma actually, believe it or not, came up to me and said, somebody approached me at my open house and they want us to check out this meeting this weekend. And I think you'd be perfect for it. And you guys probably know where this is going. That was my first MLM, my first multi-level marketing company. I loved the concept. I was already working 100% commission. I know what I put in, I get out. And from there, it was a roller coaster for about 8 years till I got to where I currently am. And, some of those companies, I was in over 27 business opportunities over those 8 years. I counted the other day or a while back. And it's just funny, shiny object syndrome is so real, and just chasing that dream. And we'll talk about it today. What are some of the things that got me focused and things that I learned from? And again, I call it failing forward because, like, yes, I made some money in there, but most of the time I didn't. And I took a lot of knowledge from that experience into what I'm currently doing. So that's kind of how I got started in all this.
Nice. Well, I know I've been personally involved in your free Facebook group that I think has like 6,000 members or close to it. And what I think was so eye-opening when I got into this, Doug, was your free course. Like that, like what got you to build that and do it for free? And like, how did you know that was the right path? And
that's when it all really started to take focus. And I had been using ClickFunnels since 2016. I found it, I saw an ad, and I was intrigued because at the time I was building landing pages for my multi-level marketing companies and trying to figure out how to get more clients online. And I was using Optimized Press, and I'm not that technical, so for me that was overwhelming. I saw an ad for ClickFunnels and I fell in love with it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, it could help people like me who know nothing about technology build their own websites, their funnels, their email marketing. Like, this is exactly what I needed. At the time, I couldn't really afford it, so I ended up not paying. I kept circling back. I knew that was the vehicle. I'm like, I need to make this work. And then I finally jumped back into it when I was working full-time for a restaurant about, was it 2018? We built out their entire website on ClickFunnels and 2 sales funnels, one for birthdays and one for anniversaries. And we targeted a 5-mile radius on Facebook of upcoming birthdays and upcoming anniversaries. And I just love designing funnels. I love designing sites on there. And I got pretty good at it. You know, I spent most of my time at the restaurant when I wasn't serving or bartending in the office working on that stuff. Realized I could probably do this for clients and I don't have to work in a restaurant anymore. And it took me about 2 years to put in my notice after I knew I was going to do this. But I finally put in my notice. November 30th, 2018 was my last day. And from there, I took on restaurant clients. I helped them build out the same process with ClickFunnels. After a month and a half of doing that, I was pretty miserable. I was negative in my bank account. Clients weren't paying. They weren't giving me the information I needed to build out their assets. And it was tough. And I was just taking on anyone out of desperation to pay the bills, and these clients weren't good. And I sat back and I said, well, what do I actually like about this business model? And the answer was, well, I like when they pay their ClickFunnels bill each month and I make that 40% recurring commission. And I'm like, how do I get 100 clients using ClickFunnels? How could I get that? Because that's all I need to be full-time at this and beyond. That's more than I could imagine. I mean, and the idea was, okay, well, I see what other people are doing. They have a Facebook group. And now we're talking about January 2019, January 2019, I launched the Facebook group. And to differentiate myself, I thought to myself, like, yes, there's like all these other people already doing it. And, you know, we get in our own heads sometimes. We're like, make up any excuse not to move forward and do the uncomfortable thing. And to make me feel more comfortable, I'm like, well, if I could create more value than the other people, you know, take something like that they're selling, for example, and create it and make it my own and then give away for free, people are going to join my group. And that's exactly what happened. So when it came to creating a free course, the idea was to create something I wish I had when I first started this path 8 years ago. Like, what would I have loved to hear and see and show, like, be shown? So I created straight to the point tutorials, click by click, showing them the ins and the outs of creating their first sales funnel. And that's how Sales Funnel Mastery course was born.
That's awesome. So a couple of things that you talked about that I can relate to is network marketing. Been there, done that. And when we were at ClickFunnels, I was like, oh my gosh, this is very similar feel to that, because everyone's trying to help each other out. It's not a like sponsor people things, but the wanting to help everyone be successful feel is the same. And you don't find that in a lot of places. And I think this community is amazing for that. Right. And
Absolutely.
the other piece that I wanted to touch on is what you just said around the person you're trying to help was you like a year ago, because I think once, and Corey and I were talking about this, once you get to a point that you're like, okay, I need this, but I didn't know, so let's create this, and that's going to help someone in my position. when they're along their journey, right?
Absolutely. 100% correct. People come to me and they say, Doug, I want to do what you've done, but I have no idea where to start. And I don't know who I want to serve. I don't know who my dream customer is. And 90% of the time it is you a year ago or you 2 years ago. People are going to relate to the stories that you're telling them. I find a lot of people that join my group are people that have former restaurant experience, former door-to-door experience. They're in debt from college and student loans and other things. And they're relating to the stories I'm telling them. And, you know, I less than 3 years ago, I probably never admitted that I don't have a college degree. I convinced myself I did. I had jobs that required it, you know, and now it's like when you step into your truth, like your stories can help so many different people. So I tell people, and I learned this from the One Funnel Away Challenge. Back when I first left my job, I left my job because of the One Funnel Away Challenge. I started telling people about this challenge. I was selling that for, you know, making $100 profit per person that would come into that challenge. And it changed my life. And I learned that the obstacle is the way. Focus on one thing. Like, what do you want to create content about? And go and create content every day about that one thing. So a lot of things happened when that started being my reality.
You know, something that has stayed true to kind of who you are and how you approach things from my point of view is exactly what you did with the OFA, the One Funnel Away Challenge. You basically you created a daily walkthrough, a daily, you know, like here's the 3 hours of stuff you learned. Here's my 5-minute take on it. And now you just did the exact same thing for traffic secrets, and you've started on .com secrets, right? Like you're reading a chapter, a secret, whatever, and then you're creating your own version of it. That's something that someone can take in 20 minutes to put action to instead of it being this whole long drawn out process. So walk me through, or the listeners through, like how you go about that whole process and for each thing that you're doing.
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So, and it's kind of like what you guys are doing right here, right? We're on a podcast together. You're interviewing experts in certain areas. And I always tell people, you don't have to be the expert. You could go on and start a Facebook group, document your journey of what you're doing, and people are going to follow. They're going to be intrigued. They're going to become inspired. Then they're going to want to work with you. And that's all I've done is documented the journey. And again, learned that from Stephen Larson and Russell Brunson, One Funnel Away Challenge. And you know, when I first started, I had major imposter syndrome. I didn't want to start a Facebook group. I didn't want to go live. I didn't want to get uncomfortable and do that thing. But here we are a year and a half later, and life is completely different. And it's because I did that thing every day that was uncomfortable. And when it came to this ClickFunnels thing, right? Teaching ClickFunnels. I'm not the expert. Russell Brunson's the expert. I'm just finding gaps and filling them. So the gap for me was, well, people are buying ClickFunnels and they're still struggling with how to make their first funnel, even with the One Funnel Away Challenge. And I asked myself, why? What is the problem that offer is creating, and how can I fill that gap? Why can I get somebody to sign up with me? Because I'm offering them more value to fill that gap. So for me, the gap was, well, when you sign up for the One Funnel Away Challenge, you have 2 hours, usually an hour to 2 hours of training each day. Then you have to figure it out. Then you have to implement it. And then, you know, people are dropping off after the first week because they couldn't keep up. So the best bonus I could give somebody is accountability, support. And I did that by recapping those 2-hour trainings into 30-minute segments. And in that 30 minutes, I would not only teach them what was taught that day, but I show them the task that was assigned and how I'm actually implementing it in my business. So then I'm not really just taking and teaching what Russell's doing. I'm actually showing how I'm implementing what he's teaching in my business. And from there, I did that for 30 days. I took those recordings and I put them into a course area created with ClickFunnels, and gave that away as a bonus now to anyone who buys the One Funnel Away Challenge from me, even till this day. So that's how you kind of teach and do and document, and then turn that into a bonus that you give to other people later on.
Yeah, I think I'm going to share a little story. So, you know, Corey and I is working together, and I had a mentor of mine say, hey, you should do sideways marketing. I was like, I have no idea what that is, right? I mean, it's funnels now that we understood, but I was like, hey, Corey, let's figure this out. Because we wanted to do seminars. We wanted to do all this stuff. He came back with ClickFunnels. He got really excited. Then he got into Doug stuff. And he's like, hey, Ron, Doug's doing this. Doug's doing this. I was like, who's Doug, man? I have no idea who Doug is. And so he got me hooked into what you were doing. And then, again, we went to Funnel Hacking Live, and your tribe is huge, man. You had that dinner for your people, and it was a huge group of people, and it was no small feat what you did in that restaurant. It was, I think the whole restaurant was filled with people that you've helped along this way, along the journey.
Yeah, mine and Spencer's crew. And what's funny was my first Funnel Hacking Live ever was 3 months after I quit my full-time restaurant job. And I was actually there with Spencer Meekum's group. Like we were hanging out, and I was, came up through like his teachings. And the only thing I look for gaps. I look for things I could do differently. And with Spencer, he created a lot of dream car winners through paid advertising and teaching people how to do paid advertising. And now things have shifted, and I just believe like through my struggles with paid ads, like, oh man, I spent so much money in the last decade trying to figure out marketing and paid ads and strategy, and I still haven't figured it out. So to get to multiple six figures just organically is my superpower, and I want to share that with others and show them how I've done it so they can do it for themselves as well.
You have the large Facebook group, but I've gotten a peek at kind of that accountability sheet, the ultimate, I think it's called the ultimate group growth or something like that. And the amount of detail in there, like walk us through, like, I mean, you created that, but what made you one day say, I'm going to keep track of every single post that I make in every single group, and I'm going to do this and this and this to start my engagement? Like what said, like, was that 5 hours a day, 10 hours a day? Like it is super detailed.
That was like a full-time job. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. I had a choice, February 2019, to either get this thing working or go back and ask for my restaurant job back. So I said, there's no way I'm going back. They all expect me to, they want me to. I need to make this work. So the Facebook group started going great. And the way I grew it so fast was that method you mentioned. I was posting in groups where I know my dream clients are, people that want to learn ClickFunnels and figure this out, just as I was hoping to do as well. And as I started to figure it out, I want to share those secrets with people. So I would, the reason I decided to do is because I remember I was pretty active, and I had my list of 10 groups that I was posting pretty consistently. Some of them were debt relief groups. Some of them were side hustle groups. Some of them were marketing groups. And I'm like, man, I'm posting all over the place, and people are commenting, and these notifications are getting out of control. But I know everyone that interacts with these posts are potentially people that would want to come learn from me potentially. So I realized if I keep track of every post and every comment and every engagement with that post, and start messaging and building connections with these people, that's the goal. And I would just simply reach out to anyone who liked or commented on that post or engaged with it and start a conversation. I'd find out things about them and never sent them a link. I think that's the thing that people do. And the number one mistake they do is they just try to go and send links and get people into their group and say, thanks for joining. Or, I would actually look at their profile, see how I could relate to them, ask them a question that they're most likely to respond to, and then we start for the conversation. And I would never give them a link unless if they asked me about what I do, or I asked their permission to drop that link to my group. But it was very manual, very manual. Most people wouldn't do this, because it was a time commitment. And I was messaging at least 30 people a day, new conversations, managing old conversations. And I'm like, I need to figure out how to keep track of this. So a Google spreadsheet worked just fine. And I would keep track of where I am with them, what their interests are. Do they have a ClickFunnels account or not? Anyone that doesn't have a ClickFunnels account, I'm going to obviously try to warm them up to checking out the One Funnel Away Challenge. And what happened in the months of February to March was I made this outbound strategy and I turned it inbound. And I did that through a Facebook group. Anyone who joins my group, I ask them the 3 questions. And then number 1 is, do you have a ClickFunnels account? And number 2 is, what do you want to learn most? So now I know what to teach people. And if I don't know what they want to learn, I could go learn that and teach it, just stay a chapter ahead, right? Number 3 was, what's your email address so I could send you my free course? So through that process and automating, everyone who says no now gets an email about ClickFunnels or about the One Funnel Away Challenge automatically, using certain softwares like Group Convert and CF Follow Up Pro. really changed everything for me. From there, I was able to reach dream car status in 66 days without paid ads or a huge following, from just having that methodology and just keeping simple and creating a system that works.
I love that. I mean, so I'm gonna. All of those things are amazing, and how you detailed this out. There's not a lot of people that would have probably done that. But you said something earlier about imposter syndrome, right? How did you give yourself permission to become the subject matter expert that you've become?
I just became a student, and not only just consuming information, I started to produce information. And even though it wasn't my own content, I was taking something that I was passionate about learning and putting my own understanding of it into slide presentations that other people might resonate with, because I need to see. I'm a visual learner. I can't just have someone talking to me for an hour in front of me. I need to see slide deck presentations. So that's what I did. I create slide presentations based on what I'm learning. I'm still doing the same thing a year and a half later today. I'm outlining every framework by Russell Brunson and .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets. And not really, I guess you could say I'm reteaching it, but I'm actually showing how I'm implementing it in my business rather than just teaching it. And I think that's helping people resonate and seeing a real life example of how that's being done. So through that practice, I feel like I've become like an expert presentation giver now. And I'm far from perfect, but like I have it down. I have how to create my slides, how to go live, how to present the slides, and how to keep it straight to the point. And I get better every time I present. So I think it's just by doing. Once you start doing things, you're naturally going to step up and people are going to see you as a leader. My Facebook group started as a peer-to-peer accountability group. I didn't see myself any better than any of them, and I still don't. But they started to look at me as the person leading, and it just happens that way. So I think by you stepping up and creating a platform and speaking to it every day, whether it's a podcast, a blog, a Facebook group, a YouTube channel, if you just show up and commit and do the work, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, and you just keep the needle moving forward, you're gonna allow yourself to step into who you're meant to be and who you're supposed to help.
Two things on that. One, if you listen to the episode that's going to drop on this upcoming Monday, Alex Elliott, she gives you credit because when she had her idea, she told us how she went to you, and even though it was a little bit different, she still needed basically the slides and that kind of stuff, and without even asking, you gave it to her. You served her. You did what you needed with it, and then you allowed her to do the same, and you both have had such success because of that serving mentality. So awesome job there. But then the next piece is watching you do exactly what you're saying, like, secret number 2 in Traffic Secrets was all about the Dream 100. And your take on the Dream 100 was very interesting to me. So would you mind talking about, hey, secret number 2, you went into a 20-minute presentation of what it was, with some quotes from the book and different thing, but then your own version of it. Can you share with that?
Yeah, so I just want to touch on that subject matter real quick because Dream 100 is so important, relationships, connections, and that brings me to Alex. Alex Elliott is awesome. I love her and everything she does and stands for. And when we first met, we started off doing the same thing with the One Funnel Weight Challenge, helping people guide them through that challenge. And to the point where we teamed up with a group of 6 of us. We created our own Facebook group to have an accountability group so we could divide the work. So I would do Monday, she would do Tuesday, and so on. And we did that. And we've kind of been side by side in this journey. And I'm just watching her crush it right now. And it's just so amazing. And people have come in to us and even asked us like, well, I see these people doing these things. And all we're doing is just being consistent and building relationships. So because of the connection that we have, we've met in person at events. We're speaking at events together, and just super supportive. And that is, when you think about the Dream 100, it's really just connecting and building relationships, just like we have and continue to do. So I think the most important thing you could do is people are scared to reach out and just ask, right? So when I was first starting out, my free course became a paid course because as I was presenting on the basics, I knew I could go deeper on some subject matter. All right. And even when I asked Russell Brunson recently on our interview, I asked him, how do people transition from just being an affiliate to creating their own products and services? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. He goes, well, you usually give something free to somebody when they buy your affiliate product, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, eventually it's going to get better and better and better, and to the point where you could start selling it. And my purpose of this story is, when I created my paid modules, I wanted to teach 5 ways to make money with ClickFunnels, but I was really only succeeding with affiliate. I wasn't the best person at design. I wasn't the best agency owner. E-commerce, I couldn't even figure out how to get a converting product online. Course creation, I was brand new, but I was good at affiliate marketing. So I built relationships with a few other people. Number one, Catherine Jones. She's amazing. One of the best ClickFunnels, or just designers in general. Doesn't even use Photoshop or anything. And I think she's coming on here too. You guys mentioned, right? Mm-hmm. She's great. But I brought her into my course to teach people how to do that, how to create design funnels. Partnered with her, and then people that go and buy her course through my program, I get a commission for. So now I'm allocating knowledge from experts in their industries. I brought in Austin Dixon for info products and webinars. I brought in Jeff Miller for agency, Peter Prue for e-commerce, and Andrew Cruzy for traffic, organic traffic methods. So I'm bringing experts into my course that I'm now selling, and I'm just teaching the thing I'm an expert in and bringing experts to teach the other subject matters, where then in turn, when they leave my course and go buy one of their products, I make an affiliate commission on. So through connections and by me serving and working together, it's not like I'm going to reach out to somebody when I need a favor and they don't know who I am. Serve them first, go first, and then they'll want to help you later. And the exact example of that is I'm planning an event, hopefully throughout all this, when things pass and we can start traveling and throwing events again. Catherine's agreed to speak at my event, and she's a FHL speaker, doing amazing things with her business. And I'm just super pumped that she agreed to that. And it's because we built that connection and I wasn't afraid to reach out and ask. So I think people that are brand new, that are scared to ask people that are experts in industries to come and speak in their course or teach a lesson in their programs, just do it, go for it, because you never know what that connection could lead to.
Well, and all they could say is no.
Yeah.
Right. Or not respond. And that goes back to your background of door-to-door sales, that, it happens. But the one thing that you said was the relationship piece. And I think that's so important, because I think so many people going through the, Dream 100 training, they're understanding it. They're like, ooh, I'm just going to go reach out. Boom, 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 boom. And there's zero relationship. They're like, what's going on? I don't know this person. How it's not how, it's the intention that you went out to create the relationship, nurture the relationship, and serve them, which in turn at some point will help you later. How did you get that mindset for you not wanting like the instant gratification that I think some people are looking for?
Yeah, that is the truth behind success, is delayed gratification and having a plan and mapping it out. And it starts with, for me, it's identifying who in your industry has your dream customers already, like who's congregating your dream customer. And that's what he teaches in his books, one of his core principles. And then how could you earn your way in or buy your way into their lists to build your own email list, traffic that you own. And I spent the first 8 years of this marketing journey never collecting one email address or name or anything. When I found ClickFunnels, now it was like it taught you how to build an offer that people are willing to give you their name, email, and even phone number in exchange for that course or that product or the ebook or whatever it is. And now you can start building an email list. One of the fastest ways, a year ago I had nobody on my email list, and we just passed 10,000 members on my email list. And I did that because of joint ventures, sharing my content with others and in my Dream 100, and doing partnerships where basically we would do a masterclass together, for example, and they share it with their audience, I share it with mine, and we cross each other's audiences. And my list grew tremendously because of that, and because of the Facebook group. People join my group, I ask for their email address. So I think that just focusing on the plan, like, right now, I think if you're in the ClickFunnels world, there's different titles and different awards, and it's like gamification. And I love the 2 Comma Club Award, not because it represents $1 million in a year or through one funnel, but because it's doing the unbelievable. Most people believe they can't do $1 million in revenue in a year, just if they're just a solopreneur starting out. But when it comes to the 2 Comma Club and the members, they are all willing to share their knowledge. And these are the people that are probably on your Dream 100 list. And just reaching out and starting that connection, learning from them, serving their audience, that's how you're going to get their attention. And that's kind of where my focus has been. And they give you the formula. Like if they show you how they're hitting 2 Comma Club, the things that they're doing. And if you think backwards, right, that's delayed gratification. Okay, I need to do $1 million this year. How much is that per month? How much is that per week? What do I need? What are my products? What are the costs of my products? How many do I need to sell? And once you have that formula and you have your first $1,000 course, I know it's a lot, but it's 1,000 sales, but it's completely achievable when you have the frameworks in place.
Yeah, you just mentioned about 8 years ago. So I wonder if you might have this answer to this question already, but hindsight's 2020. So if you had perfect hindsight and you could go back and give a younger Doug advice, what advice would you give?
Oh man, I wouldn't change anything, honestly. If it weren't for my student loan debt, I would never have seeked out alternative revenue streams, which would never have led me to where I am today. But I would say the obstacle is the way. Show up, keep working, and just, if you don't give up, you're going to make it. And that's for anyone listening. Like, the only people that don't make it is because they fail, or they gave up, and they changed ideas too many times. If you just focus on one thing, simplicity is better, and just show up every day and commit to yourself that you're going to do it, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day. I think that's the one piece of advice I could have given myself.
Here, I thought you were going to say 8 years ago, I would have been collecting emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually right. I would have found ClickFunnels sooner and started building my email list. But yeah, you're right. You see my name on the top of a leaderboard like Traffic Secrets, and it's because now I have an email list that I could now make an offer to. For when they buy that book, they could get actually more value from me by buying it through my link. If I didn't have an email list, I wouldn't be on that list with some of those huge marketers and things like that. And my list isn't massive. Some of those guys have huge lists and girls have huge lists, but it starts with one. So, one 2-page funnel. I think I see people trying to come in and create a sales funnel, and they get stuck because they want to create an opt-in page, and then that leads to a product upsell, and then a downsell, and then a confirmation page. Like, I just want to tell people, no, just start with a 2-page funnel that offers somebody some value in exchange for their email address. Just start there. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. You could build out your next funnel step as you go.
That's awesome. So we kind of talked a lot about, people can find you on Facebook, but you have a 5-day challenge out there, if I'm right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It is called Dream Car Secrets, right?
Dream Car Secrets. Yep.
All right.
First,
can you?
5 days.
All right. So, can you tell a little bit about the challenge to the listeners and kind of tell them where they can get involved with you and the challenge if they want?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing it up. I am so passionate about this. It's been in the works for about 6 months, and I've been waiting for the right time to launch it. And this is the problem and the gap I see right now. ClickFunnels is an amazing software, amazing product. You could build out your entire business using this software, but a lot of people just don't have that idea for a business. That's why I believe that aligning with a company like ClickFunnels that has a mission and vision that you could see yourself supporting, that's how I aligned with them and chose them. Like, I want to promote ClickFunnels. I don't have my own skill set yet to go out and teach, so I'm going to learn this and do that. So, I think affiliate marketing is a beautiful thing because you already have a product that's completed. You don't have to worry about creating your own thing and selling your own thing. They already do all the marketing for you. You just, you learn and you do. And through ClickFunnels, like affiliate program, it allowed me to learn what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So I've learned a lot in the last year promoting ClickFunnels. And the gap I see is that there's so many people using the software and they see it as a bill, which drives me crazy because to me, this is such an investment in your business. And if you business for $97 a month, Like, it is not a bill. It is the best investment you could possibly make, but that's for another story. But that brings up, like, people aren't even making $97 a month to pay for the subscription of the software. So they quit and they stop. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Like, what if we just make the goal smaller? Like, let's not focus on 100 ClickFunnels users. You know, if you guys are listening, if ClickFunnels will pay you $500 a month for your car of your choice when you hit 100 referrals, and they're using the software that's called the Dream Car Award. And for a while I was like, okay, let's get Dream Car Award. But I'm like, all right, people just need to start with three ClickFunnels referrals and sales. So you sign up 3 people using the software. Now your account is free. You're profitable. So I wanted to come up with a challenge, and it started as a 7-day challenge. And I started thinking, like, you know, if I start on a Monday and finish on the weekend, they're probably going to drop off. So I changed it around. I said 5-day challenge. I want to give them a small win every day. And the goal is to get them to learn the skills that I've gained over the last year to go out there and get their first 3 ClickFunnels signups in 5 days, or at least get on the path to doing that. And if they could do that, you could go from 3 to 100. And, you know I'm not like the best example like to compare to, because I did go all in the beginning and did it in 66 days. But imagine if you could even just do that in 3 to 6 months, refer 100 people to ClickFunnels. Now you're making 5 figures a month recurrent commission. That's not guaranteed. There's a lot that goes into that, but they also pay for your car of your choice. Like, I know anyone could do that. So that's the goal of that challenge, is to teach them how to get their first 3 and 5 days.
You run this challenge, and I know you've been on a summit, a virtual summit or 2 or more. I don't know. Kind of where's your path going? Is it all about just the challenge and maybe some coaching after? Like, what's kind of
so the challenge, obviously the challenge is teaching this. It's the number one mistake ClickFunnels users are making. They're trying to serve everybody. They're trying to go into ClickFunnels groups and Avengers groups, and people already know what ClickFunnels is. And I just want to shake them. And, I think the most important thing we could do is bring people into ClickFunnels that have never heard of it before. It's a win for ClickFunnels. It's a win for us. It's a win for that person that you're bringing into it. So my first thing is find out who can you serve and how can you do it, right? That's really the first step. So I have some exercises I bring them through in that 5-day challenge that will help them identify with the niche they could serve. And then the process of reaching out, as I did manually. On day 5, I say, okay, this was amazing. I'm sure you guys are getting some results, but how much better would it be to bring people to you that are asking you for your affiliate links instead of you reaching out? Well, if you join me on this journey, I have a program. It's called Car Accelerator. And from there, I just did the first challenge not even a month ago. We've got a solid group of 25 of us in that program right now. And some of them are already crushing it. And I know they're going to be Dream Car winners on stage at Funnel Hacking Live 2021. And I'm creating the framework now that will turn people from doing outbound and making an inbound strategy and automating it. This way you could serve your people at a higher level. So that's kind of the future of where I'm going. My goal is to create, there's been 702 Comma Club winners, over 700 people that in the last 5 years hit $1 million in revenue through a funnel. There's only been a little bit more than 100 people that hit Dream Car status. And if I could do it in 66 days, without paid ads, I know other people could do this. My goal is to double that number this year. I want 100 people on stage at Funnel Hacking Live 2021 with my methodology that I'm teaching. And, some people are like, well, you're putting all your eggs in one basket by teaching this. But I'm learning so much by doing this. And the things I am teaching can be applied to any product, any service, any software. And I think that is the true direction of where it's going. As it evolves, I'll probably use ClickFunnels as the example of what I'm doing. But you could really apply this to any industry, any niche. And my mission is to help people start an online business, create a 6-figure online business without creating their own products and services through this method.
I think that's great. I think
that
stage. Yeah, I know.
Is pretty awesome. That's pretty cool goal. That would be a great association for you. They should create a special Doug Award if 100 people cross the Dream Car status with, you're going through your challenge.
We'll just have a whole bunch of Doug fatheads in the audience, and we'll just hold it up for you. No, Doug, we appreciate the time, and we thank you for coming on, and we'll put all the links to get people involved in your Dream Car Challenge
Awesome.
And we'll help get some people over there, and Corey and I will probably jump in on that as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys are fun, and I really appreciate you guys having me today.
All right, thanks so much, Doug. Well, everyone, I truly hope you enjoyed that show. Doug, he's definitely an inspiration to so many.
Yeah, guys, if you just really listen to his story and how he started it, what gap he was filling, I kind of jumped right into my takeaways, but it was that important. Understand the gaps that are out there, figure out how you can help yourself to get through those gaps, and then teach other people how to do that.
Yeah, and Doug has become a master at it. And speaking of him teaching, and without in true hindsight hacking form, Doug is going to be teaching something over the next 5 days. He's got his own 5-day challenge that we are going to be involved in, and we're going to be a part of. And so every day we're going to be in this challenge, and every day it'll be uploaded to our YouTube channel and our Facebook, and it's going to be a fun week.
Yeah, guys, make sure you tune in and just kind of learn how he did things and what his 5-day challenge is all about. And like Corey said, it's on YouTube. Any place that you hear hindsight hacking, you'll be able to plug in to what Doug is sharing.
All right, everyone. We will see you over the next 6 days, 5 days with Doug's challenge. And so I can't wait to share everything we learned through this.
Likewise, guys, and we just want to thank you for being the best part of the Hindsight Hackers community.